Hello and welcome to the Noted Other Podcast. This is Daniel. Joining me is Eric. And today we are going to be showing you two of our favorite Christmas episodes in television. That's right. Every show has one, a Christmas special if it lasted longer than like 8 episodes.
Christmas special.
We are going to be doing this every freaking Friday leading up to Christmas
You
from
filthy
here.
animals.
You filthy animals. And so you better sit down and enjoy, because that's what we're going to be doing, baby.
That's what we're doing. You signed the contract.
You signed it. You signed it.
Signed it. You hear?
So sit back, watch, listen, digest. Intro. Hey, Eric. You know what I want for Christmas?
Your two front teeth. Your two front teeth. All I want for Christmas.
My two front teeth.
So you can chew food. What do you want?
I would love, all I want for Christmas is for you, listener, to hit subscribe and tackle that notification bell.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah, that's right.
That's called desperation.
That's right, baby. You can't, what, you're going to say it's free, it takes you almost barely an effort, you're going to deny me my Christmas present? I don't think you would do that. And also, if you're on Spotify, you're not out of it. I would like you to hit follow, too. Bam. Gotcha, bitch.
Gotcha, bitch.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Bye. Okay, so.
Oh, Christmas.
We're going to start with the shorter of the two Christmas episodes. Because it's gonna be a little bit easier to go through, and then we can.
You right.
We can end with a goodie. Don't worry, they're both good.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you listened to Noted ranking sitcoms, you'll know I have a love for Community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I love Christmas in general. I love Community. But what I love a lot is TV shows, and every year coming up to Christmas, I would always get hyped as a kid watching Christmas episodes, and it always got me in the mood for Christmas, and it always got me excited and got me in the spirit. And Community's first season, I think it's episode 12 or episode 11, is their Christmas episode, and it is so solid and so funny, and it encompasses Christmas in general. Like, there's Christmas decorations everywhere, even though it's Mr. Holiday, which is their non-denominational Christmas, that Christmas themed Santa that's all blue that the Dean's dressed in.
Yeah, he's interesting. And then turns around and runs into a filing cabinet.
Yeah. And it's just it gives you all that Christmas cheer, lots of funny jokes, and the meaning of Christmas, violence and friendship.
Yep.
And so during it, they
and Pierce.
Yeah. So one of my favorite bits in this is Shirley is guilting everyone into having like a Jesus Christmas.
Yeah.
Because she just is going through a divorce, doesn't really have any. She can't have her Christmas with her family.
This is her first lonely one.
Yeah. So she's wanting a Christmas with her kid, with her community family, because she can't have a Christmas with her normal family. And so while she's decorating the tree, Annie brings in I think it's I can't remember what it's called. It's menorah. Shirley is decorating the tree, and Annie comes in.
It's called a menorah.
Annie comes in with a menorah.
Menorah. I said manure.
Oh my god. And so Annie comes in with a menorah, and she's like, and I thought I could bring this, and Shirley's like, oh, your Hanukkah holder, and just shoves it into the tree.
Yeah, like kind of like hides it.
Yeah, and she's like, Annie, I didn't know you were a Jew, and she's like, say the full word, and then fixes the menorah so it's like you can see it. And it's just like tons of little jokes like that the whole time, and pretty much what ends up happening is a bully picks on Abed because Abed took all the cookies, and Jeff and him...
always ready to go to a gym?
Yeah, and Jeff and him get in an argument and eventually start fighting, And when Shirley figures out he's gonna go fight them. She then guilts him and says, "You can't come to my Christmas party." And the rest of the group
Yeah.
ends up standing up for Jeff and leaves to support him. He's not gonna fight. He changes his mind and doesn't want to fight them. And then Shirley shows up and says, "Kick his ass!" And they all get in a
Yeah.
Christmas brawl in fake snow.
It is amazing.
I absolutely love it. It's just like it gets me into the Christmas feel and also makes me laugh and want to fight people. It's just a
Yeah,
perfect culmination.
that is true. I'm about it.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part of this episode is when Shirley sings the all-encompassing holiday song, where it's just like really broad phrases and just inclusive, and it just sounds right.
When
You
she's
know what I'm
singing the
talking about?
Silent Night, but
Yeah, but it's
ad-libbed.
just yeah, it's just like all-inclusive words. It's not like specific like religion or anything. It's just so good.
Oh, dude. And I love when they're in the beginning of the episode when they're all discussing like what religions they are. And
Yeah,
they're
you're
like
in a cult.
and she's like, "I'm Christian." And he's like, "I'm Muslim." And Troy's like, Jehovah Witness, and Annie's Jewish, and then
Say the full word.
what's and then Britta is atheist, and then what's his name? Pierce is
Oh,
like
look, Britta brought what she believes in.
nothing,
Nothing.
and then Pierce is like, this isn't the first time they introduced that Pierce is part of a cult. He's
Yeah.
part of a Buddhist
He's
cult.
like I'm a level 5 grand wizard.
Yeah. And he's like,
And she's
what? And he's
she's
like,
just
you
yeah.
even just suggesting that just brought me down to level 4.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you in a cult? You saying that has brought me down to a level 4.
He's like, give me 200 energon cubes.
Yeah. He's trying to get money out of her. I love how in later seasons it's all true.
Oh yeah, no, they legitimately show like his cult practices, and when his mom
Yeah.
dies, they bring the
It's
lava
so
lamp.
good. It's so good.
And then Jeff is like, and I'm agnostic, and like, oh,
Yeah.
like what a fence sitter you are. And
Yeah.
as a self-proclaimed agnostic, I thought that was funny as shit.
Oh yeah. I mean, that episode is really good. I loved watching that one today.
Yeah, dude, I don't know what it is about seeing Christmas decorations, and I know, and like Christmas sets, it just makes me so happy. And I know most people's favorite Community episode when it comes to Christmas
The
is
claymation one.
the Ovid
Yeah.
Christmas, where
Yeah.
it's all claymation, and it's good. It's really good, but I don't know. I just wasn't a huge fan comparatively.
Yeah, I think on its own it's one of the best episodes in general just cuz I like claymation,
Yeah,
but I feel like it's not just a Christmas special because of like the topic they talk about is
yeah.
just so important to the show
It's
that
more of
it's
an
not a
Ovid episode
Christmas
than it is a Christmas
exactly.
episode.
Exactly. I completely agree with you. It
And
is a good episode. It's just not a Christmas one.
yeah, and even though it's Christmas themed, it doesn't really talk much
It's not,
about
yeah.
Christmas. I mean, I guess he's trying to like save
Oh yeah, no, the
Christmas.
whole premise of it is him saving Christmas, but it's through him and his psychosis that he's built around him and he has to like break through it and it's just a lot of like team bonding and it's about saving Christmas, but nothing about Christmas.
Yeah, and I
Christmas is
personally
B-plot.
love the I that's why like when it comes to Christmas episodes, I prefer this Christmas episode to that one.
Yeah. No, I agree. This is a really good one.
Let's jump into that next Christmas episode. Why don't you take
The
it from
next
here?
Christmas episode is the episode that I picked, and that would be season 7 of Doctor Who. Matt Smith, the time. The time of the Doctor. It's Matt Smith's last episode before regenerating into Peter Capaldi. In this episode, this giant signal has been being uh, sent out to all space and time, and it sounds all mechanical and wonky, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Doctor finds out that this like uh, religious order called the Papal Mainframe, dropping big names, boy, has protected this world that is sending out this message, right? And so he goes down there to check it out with his companion. And while they're down there, they figure out that this planet is named Trenzalore, which is the place where the Doctor dies. Dun dun dun.
Oh yeah, because
So
they talk about that in the Day of the Doctor.
yeah, they do. This is his death
I didn't
planet.
even connect those dots.
Yep, they build up to this episode, which is beautiful. Which is one reason why, before I suggested this episode to you, I wanted to tell you like the build up to it. I wanted to tell you the build up to it, but you watched it before I could tell you.
Yeah, I watched it.
This
the
is
Day
a
of the
really, yeah. This is yeah. Wait, yeah, you watched the wrong episode.
No, I purposely watched the wrong episode, then watched that
Yeah.
episode, just because I've always wanted to watch that and never did. So
Yeah,
David
so
Tennant's my
even
favorite Doctor, so I wanted to see David Tennant and Matt Smith interact.
yeah, dude. I mean, David Tennant's coming back as the Doctor. That's the
so
crazy
excited.
thing.
So excited! I just
Either
can't
way,
hide it. Meh.
let's see. So how this is all set up is that when Matt Smith became the Doctor, he got spoilers from River Song, kind of saying like Trenzalore or Trenzalore or however you pronounce it. I'm not British. That's like the place where he goes to like last final giant battle. Like that's the war to end all wars kind of thing. Like that's where the Doctor will die. Well, he's just going down to a planet called and to a town called Christmas. See, that's why it's a Christmas episode. That's really the only thing that has to do with Christmas in this episode is on Earth it's Christmas and they get trapped in a town called Christmas.
Yeah.
But the Doctor tricks Clara into going back to Earth, but then she jumps back on the TARDIS, and it takes like 300 years to get back to this planet, right? And now the Doctor's like kind of older, and then things happen, shit goes down, and then he tries to drop her, like ditch her off on planet Earth again, and then dude, it's just insane. And then I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna talk about the ending because it's my favorite and people just need to watch it. And then his regeneration speech is just oof. It's so good, Daniel.
I do love
It's
how
so
when he
good.
does regenerate, though,
Yeah.
minor part of the ending, when he does
Oh yeah,
the
no, go for it.
very end, when he does regenerate into Capaldi, at first it's like kind of like menacing the way Capaldi looks at
Oh
her.
yeah, his eyebrows.
And then the TARDIS starts to shake, and she's like, "What's happening?" He's like, "I think we crashed into anything. Don't worry, stay calm." And then he starts clicking buttons, and then he looks at her. "Do you know how to fly this thing?"
Yeah.
And then it's like him being all like sporadic and
He
like,
gets like super close to her face,
which
and then he like leans back and he's just like kidneys, my
yeah,
kidneys.
I have new kidneys, and like I haven't watched any of Capaldi, but I
You
thought he
should
was
watch
going to be like,
Capaldi.
huh?
You should watch some of Capaldi.
I've heard I thought he was serious, but like
He
watching
turns into a goofball.
that makes me feel like he's a goofball the whole time and carries
No.
the spirit of the Doctor, which I love, because that's like one of the best parts
Yeah.
about the Doctor is he's so like detached and like in his own brain kinda, and it's so funny. Like he's so goofy because
Yeah.
he's always kind of in his own world.
Yeah, I would say
Like-
that Capaldi, the first half of the first season that he's in, he's really serious, like because he's Scottish and Scottish people, like this is literally what he chalks it up to. I kid you not. In the first episode,
Okay.
he says, "I just sound angry. Scottish people are angry. I'm angry." And then he says, "Look at these eyebrows. These eyebrows are angry." So he just becomes an angry Scottish person for like a season, and it's just amazing. He has his moments of being a goofball, of course, but he's an angry Scottish man, which is awesome.
Also, side note, today the Doctor, I think one of my favorite
Yeah.
parts about Day of the Doctor is watching Matt Smith and David Tennant argue back and forth as the very
Yeah.
first Doctor looks at him and is like, "What have I become? What
Oh,
is
that's not
wrong
the
with
first.
you?" Even though
That's not the
he's
first one.
technically like the youngest version of them,
Yeah. He's like
he's
the youngest, oldest version of
yeah,
them.
he's so much more mature than both of them.
Yeah.
Even though he is like the youngest one, and it's just a weird and hilarious like dynamic because like it's like the older they get, because you have like him who's the younger one who's the most serious of them. I mean, he's in the middle of a war. Then David Tennant who's like goofy but still has like
He's the middle child.
he still has like a hand on like that serious tone, you know, like if
Yeah.
certain topics he'll go
Well, yeah,
straight into drama.
he like just lost Rose at that point as well.
Okay, and then you have Matt Smith who's like off the rails, like just
Yeah.
goofy as fuck, and
Yeah.
just like totally in his own world. Literally can't help himself but put a fez on every time he sees one,
Oh, yes.
and like has bow ties, and it's so funny watching me like, why are you so like extra to Matt Smith?
Yeah.
And he's like, and
Yeah.
also, why are you wearing sand shoes?
Yeah. Yep. Dude, I love that. I think my favorite part in that episode is when they're in the prison cell and they're like serious moment about like how many children died,
Uh
like how
huh.
many people died on Gallifrey that day. And then he's like, "Oh, I don't know." And then Matt Smith's like, "Well, one day you'll count all of them." And then they have this big epiphany to like use the sonic screwdrivers to like finally have it work on wood, because that's like an ongoing joke, is that the sonic screwdriver never works on wood.
Mm-hmm.
And then they unlock a wooden door, but then they actually don't unlock it because the queen just walks through the door and is like, "It was unlocked. You guys are fucking stupid."
Which is hilarious.
Yeah,
I
it's like,
love
"I
that
didn't lock the
dynamic.
door." And we have three of the same people who are the smartest like being in existence.
And what I love about that too is like Matt Smith and David Tennant are on like the same team against like they're like, we hate you. We hate this
Well,
version of
yeah, because
us.
he's the war doctor.
Yeah, and they're not about War Doctor. Until the
Nope.
moment he says, "Do you know how many people died on that planet?" And Matt Smith is like, "I don't know." And David Tennant immediately shoots him a look is like, "The fuck did you just say? Did
Yeah.
you there's no way you could
You
forget
forgot?
that." He's like
Yeah.
he says the exact number. He's like, and the gets in his face. He's like, "You can't forget that. What the?" And he's like
Yeah.
so like immediately is like diverts attention to Matt Smith, and he's like, "You are now my problem."
Yep. Yeah. Dude, no, I love Doctor Who. And that the episode where they go down to Christmas it's such a good episode.
Yeah,
And
so
it's a good farewell to
it
Matt Smith too.
it is, and what's cool about it is so like in this the time of the Doctor, which is the Christmas episode we're talking about that we haven't talked about much,
No,
um,
it's okay.
is like you said, the town that he goes to is Christmas.
Yeah.
It's that he protects Christmas. He pretty much becomes like the Santa of Christmas, and is like building them toys and protecting them, and he can't
Yeah.
leave because there's like a fracture in there where all the Time Lords and Gallifrey is.
So so that crack. Do you remember um Matt Smith first episode meets Amy Pond, right?
Mm-hmm.
Meets the red girl, the red haired girl.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Eats fish sticks. The crack in her wall is the same crack in that tower.
Oh.
It is a split between universes, like you said, but it's been from the first episode that he started and was in his last episode, because it's Gallifrey trying to escape. And it's just really cool that throughout the entire series, because you think that they finish that plot line when they restart time, because at one point um time like stops and it's always like the same day, the same time, like it never changes, right? And all time is happening at the same time. Does this make sense?
Mm-hmm. I'm following.
So it's everything everywhere all the time, like
Mm-hmm.
that one movie that came out.
Everything,
And
everything, anything, all the time.
a
Anything,
little bit
everything,
of everything
all
all the
the
time.
time.
Bo Burnham. Everything and everything all
All
the
the time.
time. Um, but
Apathy
yeah,
is a tragedy.
the the
Boredom is a
tra-
crime.
the
Anything and
tragedy,
everything, all the time. Okay, sorry.
the tragedy that happened that
A dark
causes
place
that
the wise.
that that crack in the wall
Mm-hmm.
is the TARDIS exploding.
Oh, okay.
Yes, in long terms, that's why the crack is there.
But yeah, he
And
he ends
and
up
that
protecting it because the Daleks have showed up to
oh,
kill.
everything is shown up to kill him.
Yeah, because no one wants the Time Lords back.
Yeah, because the question or the signal that the crack in the wall is giving out is a signal that asks the question like Doctor Who. So it's like asking the question like what is the doctor's name? Because the Gallifreyans, sure, they want the doctor to say his name into the crack, so that they can come back.
So why would that make them come back? Because I haven't seen
Because
the episode where the
he's
crack
the
happens or
only
anything.
he's well technically that crack never shows back up again. At least I don't think so, um, to my recollection. But he he's the only person in the universe who knows his name, which means like it would be, well, sorry, excuse me. He's one of the two people in the universe know his name, and it would be like an absolute confirm for the Gallifrey people
That they're in the right universe.
that they're in the right spot to return. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So they're trying to jump from one universe because they got put in
Yeah.
a
A
single
pocket
spot of
dimension.
time in a
Yeah.
pocket universe in the Day of the Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're trying to return, but don't want to return to the wrong place
Yep. So
until
they're
he
using that
says his
crack
name.
because that crack is the weakest point in time and space where the TARDIS exploded. So they're trying to use where that exploded to go through the crack and then reappear, which happens in season 10
Oh,
with
okay. That's
Capaldi.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I need to
And
rewatch
then
that show.
season 11, 12, and 13 with White Hill or White Church or whatever her name is with the female doctor.
Yeah.
They get a little weird with the origin of how the doctor, who the doctor is. I can tell you if you want me to.
No,
But
I'm gonna rewatch. I'm gonna start watching the show
yeah,
again.
yeah,
I'm gonna
it's
catch up and actually watch all the stuff I didn't watch.
yeah. I need to as well, but I'm just so indifferent towards Doctor Who. I love it and I hate it all at the same time.
Yeah, I like the show. I think it's really fun. It's just some of the episodes can be kind of sluggish and boring.
Yeah.
At times because the episodes are really long, and so it can be sometimes hard to like keep my attention the whole time.
Yeah,
Like
my thing.
I stopped and paused this episode like 3 or 4 times, and like
It's a
I think
slow
it's a
one,
cool episode. I think it is. And Matt Smith's like monologue at the end is cool, and like
dude.
the way they explain him gaining extra
Goodbye.
regenerations is like very soft and kind of like a cop out, but at the same
Yeah.
time, at least they like I guess like it's really soft and very cop out, but like without knowing how they did it. They explained it, but it's a very kind of
Wait, what?
it's
What
a
are you talking
weak
about?
it's a weak explanation, at least from a
For what?
perspective without knowing a lot about the regeneration cycle. I don't know if other Time Lords can gift extra regenerations, but that's
Oh,
pretty much what
no.
just happens.
No. Yeah. So he's gifted a whole nother set of 12 at the end of this episode. Um, at to my knowledge, which is somewhat knowledgeable, it doesn't. Like I think he's the first one
Yeah.
to ever get another full set of 12.
I hope they go into that more because, like, for a show
They
that's
do.
science
They do.
fiction,
They
and
do with
okay,
the female. That's what I
okay,
was going to talk to you about. They
okay,
do.
because
That's one of the reasons why I'm I'm indifferent because they kind of give you an answer to Doctor Who. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like that's it. It makes me mad, but it also is like, I think we should deserve some answers because it's been like almost 60 years of just this crazy wild spaceman traveling around.
Have you
You know,
watched the original Doctor Who show?
I've watched a handful. It's hard to watch because it's old.
That it is.
It's really old, but I've tried to watch a couple episodes and I've gotten through a couple episodes, but
I do like how each Doctor's regeneration's unique, but a little bit of their a little bit of their preferences or their
like their mannerisms.
their mannerisms carry over. Like every time any
Yeah.
doctor sees a scarf that's colorful, they're like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, nice
Yeah.
scarf."
Yeah.
Because that's one of the doctors is like his shtick was he likes scarves and wore a scarf.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm really excited to just in general be alive for however long I am alive, for
That's
to
good.
see
I'm glad to
how
hear it.
thanks, dude, to see how long Doctor Who does go, because you know it's Doctor Who, you know.
Will probably happen. It's like in 10 years, 5 to 10 years, it'll probably get canceled, and then probably
I
more like
don't
10 years,
I
and then
don't
what will
think
happen is it will stay canceled for about like 15 years, and then someone's gonna be like, remember that thing that was on for a long time and then stopped and
let's
then
bring
came
it
back
back.
on for even longer and it became a cultural phenomenon? Let's try to recapture that, and then it'll become a cultural phenomenon just because of the type of show it is. It can go on, and it's a space adventure with a wacky protagonist that
Well, you
it's
see,
actually a
that's the
really
thing.
genius like concept for a show and its protagonist
Oh, it's perfect.
because
It is perfect. It's The Simpsons. It's The Simpsons of British live action
well,
television.
not just like how long it's gone on in that aspect, but what I mean is the fact that they have it written into the DNA of the show that there is always going to be new actors keeps the show fresh
Yeah.
and
No, it's
keeps
beautiful.
people interested in the protagonist. It's also its Achilles heel because if you pick someone that people don't like, then the show
Like
doesn't do as good. But in the
like
same
The
way
Last Doctor,
that
the
it brings
female
in
one.
new audiences because of it. So like
Yeah.
you will always have, and then you have people who are like, "Oh, this is my favorite Doctor," or "I like this Doctor." Like I got into Doctor Who when they first started showing, like when they first brought it back up with the ninth.
Chris Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah, I watched that when it was. They just only had
Or
like a couple. I
Christoph.
think they only had like 2 or 3 seasons into David Tennant when I started
Mm.
watching it. So it wasn't like right when it started, but it was like in the beginning before Matt Smith became the Doctor, you know.
Yeah.
And so I watched that
It
season
was like 2007.
with Christopher, and when I watched that, I then saw when they switched over to David Tennant in the next season. I was like, the fuck is this shit? No,
Yeah,
no,
they just got rid of
no.
my favorite person.
No, I loved him, and I
It's
was
just
so about him. Like,
stupid.
what is this? This guy's not the Doctor. He doesn't have the same. I don't like this. Two episodes later, I was like, oh my god, I love David Tennant. He's perfect.
Holy fuck, this man's awesome. He got his hand chopped off and he grew it back.
Oh,
Whoa.
yeah, I love it. And then Matt Smith, who I didn't like at first, warmed up on me, and I like
Oh,
Matt Smith too. And it's just like
yeah.
I think it's a really cool concept, and in that aspect, the show will go on as long as people like it will keep going on for a
I
long
don't
time. And
think
I just think that it's inevitable because of Hollywood they'll get canceled. But I
I don't
think
think they'll
because
ever
of the
get
type of show
canceled.
it is, I think it's inevitable with the history of like how long the show's been going on. I think it will come back. I think
Do
it's
you want to know
inevitable that it
why?
will come back.
Do you want to know why I don't think it'll get canceled or
Hmm.
ever be dropped from here on till ever?
Why?
Possibly is because of what they're doing this year with David Tennant. Having him come back and only do 5 episodes, but they're all going to be like banger
They're
episodes.
burning a regeneration just to have him come back.
No, well, sort of, kind of. I don't think it's going to be an actual one. I think the 5 episodes that we're going to be getting is going to be David Tennant slowly regenerating into the next one because regenerations are weird and none of them ever do the same thing as the last one. That's what the doctor has always said. Regenerations are like unpredictable. right?
Hmm.
And so I'm thinking that the Lady Doctor turned into David Tennant for some weird reason,
For like
you
a
know?
short period of time in between the next generation.
In between, yeah, like I think that David Tennant is going to be like residue almost. Like for some reason, because of like because of what happens the last couple episodes of the newest season, I'm assuming, because I haven't watched it, I need to get caught up before David Tennant comes back because I do want to know why he is coming back. My guess, though, is that there's a reason why he's coming back. I don't think that he's just coming back because,
Fan
I mean, of
service.
course, well, he is coming back for fan service for a fact because Doctor Who has lost a lot of viewership since they casted What's Her Face. It's gotten a little bit bigger and a little bit better since then, but when she first got brought on, they lost lots of people, which is sad. But at the same time, like the show kind of sucked when she started. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie.
I've never seen it, so I don't have a
It's
perspective or an opinion to
it's
give.
rough. The only reason why I'm not a fan of it is because I want space travel, I want different planets, I want different species, right? And the first half of her season is just her traveling around the world, like around our world, just fighting for women's rights. And I'm about women's rights. Don't get me wrong, but I want sci-fi space
A
exploration.
loss of potential.
Yeah, I want sci-fi space exploration, not this is gonna sound messed up, but like I don't want the doctor saving Rosa Parks. I know it sounds really fucked up. I know that sounds really messed up, but like I just don't see why that's like, you know, like yeah, it's cool. It's dope. It's awesome. Great story. I'm about it. But it just doesn't feel Doctor Who to me, you know?
Hmm.
Like it just feels too real, I guess. You know?
I don't really have an opinion. Like I said,
No, I know you don't.
there's a lot of the show I haven't watched, so I'm not sure. I am excited to
Yeah.
watch hers though, because it will
Yeah.
be. I've always wanted to see a female doctor, and I hope, despite the maybe poor reception she got at first or at to a
Yeah.
point, I hope they
I've
do
heard
end
that
up
her
having
later
another female
seasons.
doctor, because I think it would be a shame not to have another one.
Yeah. Dude, their next the next doctor that they picked, I don't know if you've seen pictures of him,
Hmm.
but he will be the first male black doctor,
Oh, that's
which
cool.
is awesome, dude. I think it's dope. Um but yeah, so there you go. There's a little changeroo for you.
I'm gonna look it up. Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. Oh, I love that actor. He's the
Yeah.
new doctor? Oh,
Yep.
oh, fuck. I'm catching up then. I'm
Yep.
catching up. Yeah, no, I love this dude. I watched him in the Sex Education,
Yeah.
and he is so good in it. He is so good in it. I like that mustache. He looks good with a mustache. But either way, I think it's exciting that he's going to become the new doctor, and I think he's going to fit it very well. He's a good actor,
I
and
hope he does. I mean, I hope that the episodes and stories that they tell through him are good because I think that he'll be good either way. Like I think the Lady Doctor is good either way. I just think that her stories
you think she
suck.
just got some. It wasn't that she
She's
was
got
a.
some shitty
It's not that she
stories,
was a
dude.
bad doctor. It was that the
Yeah.
stories that she was given weren't that necessarily as strong as
Yeah.
the other stories.
Yeah. They felt I felt like they were trying to prove a point that she was a lady so she had to fight for women's rights when I didn't care that she was a lady. I just wanted epic adventures, you
Hmm.
know? But they had to prove a point that it's a female doctor and now we have to save women too. And it's just like I'm about it, but hot damn.
Yeah,
But
I.
sorry.
You're
I
good.
just get mad about it.
I'm excited to see him as a doctor because he has
I am too.
he brings a lot of, like, I haven't really seen him in anything except Sex Education, but I really enjoyed him in that show, and he had wider range in that show. He played at times goofy, and at times he had serious roles, and I think he was good at it, and I think the type of energy he had in that show will do good for him in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I haven't really watched anything. I'm going through his
IMDb.
credits right now. And yeah, no, I haven't really seen anything else he's been in. I mean, he hasn't really been in a lot, to be frank. His biggest thing that I'm seeing here seems to be Sex Education, but I enjoyed him in that a lot, so I think he'll be good.
This year is also supposed to be the 60th year for Doctor Who. So.
Okay.
Which is really crazy because you just watched the 50th.
Yeah, 50th. I did.
Yeah.
Dude, speaking of Doctor Who and 50th, Matt Smith, dude, he is so good in House of Dragons. I like him so much in that. He's
a good actor. I liked him in Morbius.
I have not watched Morbius. It's Morbin time. It's
Morbin
time.
It's Morbin time. You gotta watch it, dude.
Thank you for listening to the No Podcast. This has been Daniel. This has been Eric. Before you go, though, well, you should watch out for next week's episode and the week after that. Every Friday, like I said in the beginning, the top of the episode, we are going to be doing episodes about Christmas episodes of TV shows. That is right. So tell us what your favorite Christmas episodes are, and watch out for next Friday's episode when we drop another about our favorite TV show episodes. Bah, 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 bah.